Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Griffin, better known as the Fanatical Futurist. I'm the CEO and founder of the 311 Institute, and we're a futures think tank that looks up to 50 years out. Now, in this particular demo, what I'm going to be showing you is something that I've been talking to companies like McKinsey, Deloitte, KPMG, and lots of other consulting companies about when it comes to ChatGPT 4. Or even ChatGPT 3, or everything else. So I've been talking about generative artificial intelligence for well over 7 years. So you can go and have a look at the YouTube channel. You can go and see that I was talking about it in 2017, wrote a book on it 4 years ago. But this is sort of one of the most interesting things that I actually think that not that many people are actually sort of paying too much attention to. So, what we're going to do in this little demo is I'm going to show you how to write a report in the style of, for example, a company like Deloitte. So, we all know that Deloitte and big consulting companies charge huge amounts of money for multi-hundred-page reports, etc., that, frankly, a lot of my clients actually say, we could have paraphrased this down into 12 bullet points on the first page and, not paid the X millions of pounds, basically, that these actually reports cost to generate. Bearing in mind that actually I'm quite often involved in actually creating some of these reports, basically as a third-party consultant and advisor. That's a whole story in itself. Now, when we have a look at this, create a retail trends report. So this is really sort of where I want to encourage you to play around with styles. Now, what I mean by styles basically is kind of styles prompts. Because if I said to ChatGPT, create a retail trends report, it would just create it in whatever style it wants. But if we go in the style of Deloitte, I'll put it in the style of a Deloitte report, then now, as you can see, it comes up with sort of relatively similar titles, basically, that Deloitte would actually use. You've got an executive summary that's being formed here, and so on and so on and so forth. Now, on the one hand, again, as I sort of travel around the world, a lot of organizations are asking, for example, if they put investment reports. So companies like Maybank, for example, in Malaysia, or HSBC, or Citi, or JP Morgan, and everything else. Now, bearing in mind that GPT-4 doesn't actually have access to the internet, its information cutoff is still September 2021. But when we actually start seeing everyone being able to access different plugins, there is a plugin that actually lets you access the internet via ChatGPT-4. Why can't these things then start scouring the internet for a whole bunch of facts and everything else and actually create a retail style report in the style of Deloitte, just like this one's doing here? I mean, bearing in mind, basically, that this is pretty much free. I mean, I use ChatGPT Plus, so basically it's $20. You do need to check the details and everything else because these things hallucinate, and they hallucinate really badly. That's it. So a lot of the enterprise organizations that I know are using GPT-4, for example, for enterprise use. I've been using it, and the number of facts that it's been getting wrong is just truly staggering. Almost enough to sort of make me think that actually it's junk. And I like ChatGPT-4, but again, when we have a look at generative artificial intelligences, this is still kind of a baby. But as you can see here, it's now created a retail report in the style of Deloitte. Now, you can embellish this. You could actually then start saying, expand whatever section you want, expand the artificial intelligence section. Now, one thing that I always get ChatGPT to do is cite sources and provide links. Now, when you're actually checking ChatGPT's work, I'd actually encourage you basically to go and have a look at the links basically that it's pulling information from. And now, bearing in mind, this is actually on the training data that it's actually ingested, before it was actually created. So these aren't live internet links. You've got to realize that. But, if I want to actually expand the report because I have an important client and frankly, they don't just want a 2-pager report basically on the future of retail trends in wherever I care about, then look at this. We now start having some stats and say, I think if this was a Deloitte report and it starts pulling in information from McKinsey, I'm not sure the clients basically would actually appreciate that. Not really sure that McKinsey would appreciate that. Maybe they would, a little bit of free advertising. But as you can see, now basically it's starting to embellish it, etc., etc., etc. So I would actually encourage you to play around with styles. And when we start talking about different styles, you can have, for example, if you're a student, you can say, write an essay on the Victorian era in the style of a happy 12-year-old, etc., etc., etc. And then when we start talking about plagiarism, I get bombarded by companies that are trying to sell me AI detection and plagiarism services. Now, I've tried pretty much all of them, and frankly, they're also pretty much junk. Now, the reason for that is because ChatGPT and other sort of tools like it basically aren't really plagiarizing work. They're not copying work. What they're doing is they're using a probabilistic formula to figure out what words should come next, or which words, based on the sequence of words that it's actually already written, have the highest probability of being correct within the context of the prompt. That's not plagiarism. That's kind of a little bit basically what humans actually do, albeit at a sort of 3 to 4 year old level. But anyway, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that's it. If you want to create your own KPMG, Deloitte, McKinsey, BCG, Bain style reports, and you want to sell them to customers for millions and millions of pounds, then I don't know, maybe give me a little commission. That's it. Give me a hat tip, whatever it happens to be. And that's it. That's my little video blog for today. Take it easy. Take care. Bye-bye. Now I've got to find the stop button. There you go. Bye.